Welcome to Smart English Stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English stories. The power of stories. Stories have a magical power. They can teach us new words, ideas, and ways of seeing the world. When we read or hear stories in English, we learn the language in a natural and fun way. We see how words are used in sentences. We understand the meaning of new words through the story's context. We feel the emotions of the characters, which makes the language come alive. Reading stories in English helps us improve our vocabulary. We come across new words and phrases. By seeing these words in different situations, we remember them better. Stories also show us how to use grammar correctly. We see examples of past, present, and future tense. We learn about sentence structure and punctuation. Stories also improve our listening and comprehension skills. When we read aloud or listen to a story, we practice understanding spoken English. We hear the rhythm and flow of the language. We get used to different accents and pronunciations. Moreover, stories can touch our hearts. They make us laugh, cry, and think deeply. They can teach us valuable life lessons and make us more empathetic. Stories connect us to other people and cultures. They help us understand our own feelings and the world around us. Now, let's dive into a long, beautiful, and heart-touching story. The Forgotten Village. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a small village named Greenwood. Greenwood was a peaceful place, surrounded by tall trees and colorful flowers. The villagers were kind and lived simple lives. They farmed, cooked, and celebrated festivals together. In Greenwood, there was a little girl named Lily. Lily was 10 years old. She had big, bright eyes and curly brown hair. She loved to play by the river that flowed near the village. She would spend hours there, watching the fish swim and the birds fly. Lily lived with her grandmother, Rose. Rose was an old woman with a warm smile and gentle hands. She was loved by everyone in the village. Rose would tell Lily stories every night. She told her about fairies, dragons, and faraway lands. Lily loved these stories and dreamed of going on adventures. One sunny morning, as Lily was playing by the river, she saw something strange. A small, shiny object was stuck between the rocks. Curious, she picked it up. It was a locket. The locket was old and covered in dirt. Lily took it home to her grandmother. "Look, Grandma, what I found by the river," Lily said, showing the locket to Rose. Rose's eyes widened when she saw the locket. She carefully took it from Lily's hand and cleaned it with a cloth. When the dirt was wiped away, a beautiful engraving appeared. It was a picture of a young couple holding hands. "This locket belongs to our village's past," Rose said softly. "It holds a story of love and loss." Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Tell me the story, Grandma," she pleaded. Rose nodded and began the story. Many years ago, there was a young woman named Eliza. Eliza was kind and beautiful. She had a heart of gold. She fell in love with a young man named Daniel. Daniel was brave and strong. He loved Eliza deeply. They promised to be together forever. But one day, a terrible storm hit the village. The river overflowed and the village was flooded. Many homes were destroyed. Daniel tried to save Eliza, but the current was too strong. Eliza was swept away. Daniel searched for her day and night, but she was never found. He was heartbroken. Before the storm, Daniel had given Eliza this locket as a symbol of their love. It was lost in the flood. And now, after so many years, you have found it. Lily's eyes were filled with tears. She felt the sadness of Eliza and Daniel's story. She held the locket close to her heart. "We should return this to the village," she said. "Everyone should know this story." Rose smiled and nodded. Together, they went to the village square. Rose gathered all the villagers and told them the story of Eliza and Daniel. She showed them the locket. The villagers listened with heavy hearts. "This locket is a symbol of love and loss," Rose said. "Let us remember Eliza and Daniel. Let us keep their love alive in our hearts." The villagers decided to build a small monument in the village square. They placed the locket inside a glass case. Every year, on the anniversary of the storm, they would gather to remember Eliza and Daniel. They would tell the story to their children and grandchildren. Years passed, and the story of Eliza and Daniel became a part of Greenwood's history. Lily grew up and became a storyteller like her grandmother. She traveled to different villages, sharing the story of the locket. She taught people about love, loss, and the power of memories. One day, while traveling through a distant village, Lily met a young man named Thomas. Thomas was kind and gentle. He had a love for stories just like Lily. They became good friends and shared many adventures together. As time went by, Lily and Thomas fell in love. Thomas gave Lily a locket, similar to the one she had found by the river. It was a symbol of their love and commitment. Lily and Thomas returned to Greenwood and got married. They lived a happy life, surrounded by family and friends. They had children and grandchildren, and they continued the tradition of telling stories. And so, the story of the forgotten village, the locket, and the love of Eliza and Daniel was passed down through generations. It reminded everyone that love is eternal and memories are precious. The village of Greenwood remained a place of peace, love, and stories. The little bird with a broken wing. In another part of the world, there was a dense forest. This forest was home to many animals. Birds, rabbits, deer, and foxes lived there happily. Among them was a small bird named Tweet. Tweet was a cheerful bird with bright blue feathers. She loved to sing and fly high in the sky. One day, while Tweet was flying, a strong wind blew. It pushed her into a tree. Tweet fell to the ground and hurt her wing. She tried to flap her wings, but one of them was broken. Tweet felt scared and alone. She called out for help. "Help! Someone, please help me." A kind rabbit named Hop heard Tweet's cries. He came running to see what had happened. "Oh dear, your wing is broken," Hop said gently. "Don't worry, I'll help you." Hop took Tweet to his burrow. He made a soft bed of grass and leaves for her. He brought her food and water every day. Tweet felt safe and cared for. Days turned into weeks, and Tweet's wing slowly healed. During this time, Hop and Tweet became best friends. They shared stories and played games together. Tweet sang beautiful songs for Hop, and Hop told her funny stories. One day, Tweet's wing was completely healed. She could fly again. She was very happy, but also a little sad. She didn't want to leave Hop. "Thank you, Hop, for taking care of me," Tweet said. "I will never forget your kindness." Hop smiled. "You are my friend, Tweet. I'm glad I could help you. Promise me you will visit often." Tweet promised and flew high into the sky. She felt the wind under her wings and sang a joyful song. She visited Hop every day. They remained best friends forever. Tweet's story spread through the forest. It taught all the animals the importance of kindness and friendship. Whenever an animal was in trouble, others would come to help, just like Hop helped Tweet. The forest became a place of love and care. Tweet and Hop's friendship was a shining example for everyone. They showed that true friends are always there for each other, no matter what. The brave little mouse. In a small village by the sea, there was a family of mice. They lived in a cozy little hole in the wall of a bakery. The bakery was warm, and there was always plenty of food. The family was happy and content. Among them was a little mouse named Pip. Pip was the youngest and smallest in the family. He was curious and adventurous. He loved to explore the bakery and the village. But Pip had a big problem. He was afraid of cats. The bakery had a large, fierce cat named Whiskers. Whiskers loved to chase mice. All the mice in the bakery were scared of him. Pip's parents always warned him to be careful and stay away from Whiskers. One day, Pip's best friend, a mouse named Squeak, got trapped in a cage. The baker had set the cage to catch mice. Squeak was stuck and scared. He called out for help. "Help me, Pip." "I'm trapped," Squeak cried. Pip heard his friend's cries. He knew he had to save Squeak. But the cage was in the middle of the kitchen, and Whiskers was sleeping nearby. Pip felt scared, but he couldn't leave his friend. Taking a deep breath, Pip gathered his courage. He quietly sneaked into the kitchen. His heart was pounding, and his paws were shaking. He reached the cage and saw the lock. It was big and heavy. "I'm here," Squeak Pip whispered. "I'll get you out." Pip tried to open the lock, but it was too tight. He looked around and saw a small pin on the floor. He picked it up and used it to open the lock. After a few tries, the lock clicked open. Squeak was free. "Thank you, Pip. You saved me," Squeak said with tears of joy. Suddenly, Whiskers woke up. He saw the mice and hissed angrily. Pip and Squeak ran as fast as they could. Whiskers chased them, but they were too quick. They reached their hole and jumped inside just in time. Pip's parents hugged him tightly. "We are so proud of you, Pip. You were very brave," they said. Pip felt proud too. He had faced his fear and saved his friend. From that day on, Pip was no longer afraid of Whiskers. He knew that he could be brave, even if he was small. The other mice in the bakery heard about Pip's bravery. They admired him and learned that courage comes in all sizes. Pip's story spread, and he became a hero in the village. Pip and Squeak continued to have many adventures together. They explored new places and helped other mice in need. They showed everyone that even the smallest among us can be the bravest. The kind little boy. In a big city, there was a little boy named Sam. Sam was 7 years old. He had short black hair and bright blue eyes. He loved to read books and play with his toys. Sam lived with his parents in a small apartment. One day, Sam and his mother were walking in the park. Sam saw a man sitting on a bench. The man looked sad and tired. He had dirty clothes and no shoes. Sam felt sorry for him. "Mom, why is that man so sad?" Sam asked. Sam's mother sighed. "He is homeless, Sam. He doesn't have a home or enough food to eat." Sam felt a lump in his throat. He wanted to help the man. He looked at his mother with big, pleading eyes. "Can we help him, Mom?" "Please," Sam asked. His mother smiled and nodded. "Of course, Sam. Let's buy him some food." They went to a nearby shop and bought sandwiches, fruit, and water. Sam carried the bag of food to the man. "Hello, sir. My name is Sam. I brought you some food," Sam said, handing the bag to the man. The man's eyes filled with tears. He smiled and took the bag. "Thank you, Sam. You are very kind." Sam felt happy. He sat next to the man and talked to him. The man's name was John. He had lost his job and home. He had been living on the streets for months. Sam listened to John's story with a heavy heart. He wanted to do more to help him. Sam and his mother went home and gathered some of Sam's old clothes and shoes. They returned to the park and gave them to John. John was very grateful. He hugged Sam and thanked him again. "You have given me hope, Sam. You are a good boy," he said. Sam's act of kindness didn't stop there. He told his friends and neighbors about John. They all decided to help. They brought food, clothes, and blankets for John and other homeless people in the park. With the help of the community, John found a job and a place to live. He started a new life. He never forgot Sam's kindness. He often visited Sam and his family to thank them. Sam's kindness inspired many people in the city. They started helping the homeless and those in need. The city became a better place because of one little boy's big heart. Sam learned that even small acts of kindness can make a big difference. He continued to help others and spread love wherever he went. His story showed that kindness is a powerful force that can change lives. The lonely tree. On a hill, there stood a lonely tree. It was an old oak tree with thick branches and deep roots. The tree had seen many seasons come and go. It had faced strong winds, heavy rains, and bright sunshine. But the tree was lonely. The tree watched the birds fly by and the animals play on the hill. It wished it had friends to keep it company. The tree tried to talk to the birds, but they were always in a hurry. The animals didn't notice the tree. One day, a little girl named Emma came to the hill. Emma had golden hair and a cheerful smile. She loved nature and often explored the hills and forests. When she saw the lonely tree, she felt a connection. "Hello, tree. You look so beautiful," Emma said, touching the rough bark. The tree felt happy. Someone had finally noticed it. Emma sat under the tree and read a book. She sang songs and told the tree stories. The tree listened and felt less lonely. Every day, Emma visited the tree. She brought her friends and family to see it. They had picnics under the tree and played games around it. The tree was no longer lonely. It had found friends who cared for it. One autumn day, a big storm hit the hill. The wind was strong and the rain was heavy. The tree swayed and shook. It felt scared, but then Emma and her friends came running. They held hands and stood around the tree. "We will protect you, tree. Don't be afraid," Emma said. Their love and care gave the tree strength. It stood tall and faced the storm. The wind and rain couldn't harm it. The storm passed and the tree was safe. The tree felt grateful. It realized that true friends are those who stand by you in difficult times. Emma and her friends continued to visit the tree. They decorated it with lights and ribbons during festivals. They made it feel special and loved. The lonely tree was lonely no more. It had found a family in Emma and her friends. The tree stood proudly on the hill, knowing it was loved and cherished. Emma's love for the tree taught everyone the importance of friendship and care. The tree became a symbol of strength and unity. People from nearby villages came to see the tree and learn about its story. And so, the lonely tree and the little girl's bond became a legend. It reminded everyone that even the simplest acts of kindness can bring immense joy and change lives. The old man's gift. In a small town by the sea, there lived an old man named Henry. Henry was a kind and gentle man. He had spent his life working as a fisherman. Now, in his old age, he lived alone in a little cottage. Henry loved to watch the sea. He would sit by the shore and listen to the waves. He often thought about his wife, Mary, who had passed away many years ago. They had shared many happy moments by the sea. One evening, as Henry was sitting by the shore, he saw a young boy struggling in the water. The boy was crying for help. Without thinking, Henry jumped into the sea. He swam to the boy and pulled him to safety. "Are you all right?" son Henry asked, breathing heavily. The boy nodded, shivering from the cold. "Thank you, sir. I was scared." Henry smiled and took the boy to his cottage. He gave him warm clothes and a hot drink. The boy's name was Jack. He had wandered too far from the shore and got caught in the strong current. Jack's parents were very grateful to Henry. They invited him to their home for dinner. Henry felt happy and welcomed. Jack and Henry became good friends. They often spent time together, talking and laughing. One day, Jack noticed a beautiful wooden box in Henry's cottage. It was intricately carved and looked very old. Jack was curious. "What is in this box?" Jack asked. Henry smiled and opened the box. Inside, there were letters, photographs, and a locket. "These are my memories of Mary," Henry said softly. "She was my wife." This locket was her favorite. Jack listened as Henry told him stories about Mary. He talked about their adventures, their love, and the life they had shared. Jack felt a deep respect for Henry and his love for Mary. Henry grew older and weaker. He knew his time was near. One day, he called Jack to his side. "Jack, I want you to have this box," Henry said, handing it to the boy. "These memories are precious to me. I want you to keep them safe." Jack's eyes filled with tears. He hugged Henry tightly. "I promise, Henry, I will take care of them." Henry smiled and closed his eyes. He passed away peacefully, knowing his memories were in good hands. Jack kept his promise. He took care of the wooden box and its precious contents. He often visited Henry's grave and told him about his life. He shared Henry's stories with his own children and grandchildren. The old man's gift became a treasured family heirloom. It taught everyone the value of love, memories, and the importance of keeping them alive. Henry's legacy lived on through Jack and his family. The small town by the sea remembered Henry as a hero and a loving husband. His story touched the hearts of many. It showed that even after death, love and memories remain, connecting us forever. The little girl and the magic flower. In a quiet village, there was a beautiful garden. The garden was full of colorful flowers and tall trees. In the middle of the garden, there was a special flower. This flower was magic. It had petals that glowed in the dark and a sweet fragrance that filled the air. The magic flower was cared for by an old gardener named Mr. Green. Mr. Green was kind and wise. He knew the secrets of the garden and loved the magic flower dearly. He protected it from harm and made sure it bloomed every year. One day, a little girl named Lucy came to the garden. Lucy had big brown eyes and a curious mind. She loved to explore and learn new things. When she saw